welcome. We are delighted to have you join us today. Knowing that this is kind of an in-between time, we wanted to kind of throw something out that was different and a little bit on the fun side. Oh, you've got the button.
Yeah. And we have planned an interactive, conversational kind of presentation today. So we will be going back and forth and asking each other questions, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And so our topic is infographics. Anybody want to take a shot at what that is and what we mean by that? Go, Martha.
I've been reading a lot about these. I haven't explored them yet.
Okay, we're going to do that today.
But in program evaluation, they're the big thing about how to take in a lot of data and put it together in a picture so that people would get it without reading tons of tables or tons of text.
Bingo. That's it. Okay, we're done.
Sounds too hard.
And so as we are moving you through this this little information session on information graphics, I'd like you to meet my partner, Mary Rotundo.
And my friend, Judy Summers, for another interesting TV session.
So we're going to give some thought to, as Martha indicated, the visual representation of information, particularly information that's not always easy to read and digest. And so a way of making it so that we can get something out of it. We're going to show you quite a few kind of fun examples of some of them and talk about ways to incorporate them and maybe even try putting a few little pieces of information together to sort of make one. Okay. Bottom line being, picture is worth 1,000 words. We've heard that all along. In fact, I should even have looked for the source of where that is, the source of that quote. But you can take almost any of these images, certainly, and get that there is a story behind those images. In fact, as I was pulling them down, my curiosity was aroused. I'd like to know the story behind a couple of these. But any image that we can use, we can adapt and realize that there is something behind that image, but the picture itself is what truly, truly tells the story.
Okay, so those who were here last week, what was the keyword that we used last week? Kathy was here.
What were we talking about
last week? We were talking about presentations.
Yeah.
I was on
Baby.
Skype, but
Okay.
I need to.
That's okay. That's okay.
All right, so the keyword today definitely will be data. We're going to be talking about scrambled, non-data that makes no sense. And there is a process by which we are going to sort and arrange that data so it is presented visually in a manner that is easy to digest and in a way students can actually engage with that data.
It's a good slide.
Isn't it? It's a great visual, and it really, I mean, that truly exactly says what it is.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So about data, the keyword again is data. So we're gonna let the data inform and drive our design, the creation of the infographic. So what kinds of data do you see yourselves using with your students?
Their scores.
Okay, of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah.
Scores,
Especially
yes.
now at the end of the semester, everybody's thinking about that.
Yeah.
Yep.
If they're doing any kind of research, whatever topic you're looking at, with usually research is based on data.
Mm-hmm.
They
Yeah.
do studies and they collect it.
So quantitative data, right? Amounts, ways to make comparisons, right? Okay. Any other kind
Yeah, I
of
was gonna say,
data?
Ellen, what kind of data do your students need to be able to look at and interpret?
Well, one thing, I'm not doing this right now with my students, but like on a graduate level, students look at outcomes of counseling, different kinds of counseling levels, like solution focused versus cognitive.
Okay.
Okay, and Martha, you're working in program evaluation. Plenty of data in there that needs to be thought about.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think of interesting ways to present survey
Okay,
data.
Okay.
That's what I deal with the most.
Yes.
okay, all right.
Okay.
And Susan, I'm not sure what content area you have, but I'm sure your students need to think about data, right?
I don't use this. I mean, you're going to give me ideas on how to use it.
Okay.
And certainly in
So let's
computer
say-
science.
Yeah.
Let's say you teach geography. You will deal with a different kind of data, right? So what would,
When I taught geography in high school in our textbook, before we did a continent, there was this huge table
Oh, yes.
of the countries and then tons of data.
yes,
Infant mortality, population, blah, blah, blah,
yes,
and
yes.
all that stuff.
Yes.
Income and,
Yes.
and gross national product
Yes,
and all of that,
yes.
all of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
you're right. A whole huge page full of stuff
Yeah.
about them. Yeah, definitely, definitely. And our world is full of data and it keeps expanding
Absolutely.
exponentially.
Absolutely. What if you teach history? What is one kind of data that you will always be showing?
Timelines.
Timelines. Very good.
Yeah.
Definitely. All right. You teach psychology or anything that is content driven.
So in psychology, they compare one control group's results to
Very good.
another.
Very good. Okay. So you would have concepts, right? You would have those hierarchies in there. So depending on the kind of data that you have, obviously the kind of infographic that you will be using will be different, right? Okay.
And we're going to look at some, a variety of different types of them.
You see it way down even kindergarten. You want
Yeah.
to teach them eat
Yeah.
this much bread, eat this much, and you put it in a pie chart. You know.
Yes, yeah, or the, the classic, the little bag of M&Ms and how many different colors, and we put them on the chart.
Yeah.
I'm getting way ahead.
It's okay.
And I just want to know if it's coming. Because I put on a little slide share thing, that one of the hottest topics on a listserv for the Evaluation Association. The question probably comes up once every 2 weeks, what's a good source for learning how to use infographics? So, I mean, for me, it's all like time and learning curve,
Yeah.
as it is with anything new.
Yes.
Like, will you be showing us super easy,
Well, it was,
non-Google driven
it
ways of
was,
doing it?
it was our hope to actually take some data and create one in here. And we decided that might be a step beyond where we need to go, but we're going to give you where to go to find all of
Because on the
those.
listserv, everybody has a different source.
Of course,
Yeah.
yeah, and there's a
respond
ton of
and
them.
they're all using different things.
Yeah.
Then how do you choose?
Yeah.
You know?
There's a ton of them. So we're going to talk about that.
We use it to teach, but I think the idea is to have our students create them to learn, right? So there's a new way of using them.
So are we clicking in or it's, okay, so the one at the top, what is an infographic?
Oh, like your
Just kidding. And this one, we're going to look at the first part of it, and then stop pretty much when it gets right here, because then it goes into uses for businesses, and that really isn't the direction we want to go. But it's a nice visual about it. You're looking at one right now. Contains graphics and text, and it often includes statistics. And those are those are things that it's really tough. If we're teaching a graduate course, we expect our students to be able to pick up some of those research articles and read and understand them. But most anybody else kind of gloss over that section of the articles until you get back to what it all means. So it gives you a visual, the creative way to let people easily understand the message or the story being delivered. So it's like it's a one-shot deal. Gives information on a topic in a creative way and a conclusion. Detailed research and editing to make sure that it is being presented correctly. This is information on how to set it up for your search engine, how to use it for marketing, and then the visual aspect of it. And so we're not going any further in that one because it does go more into using it as a business strategy. But we will go back and okay, first of all, let's start with this one. Not that we're going to take you through that, but it's just that it's a interesting approach to them in that it has the game look to it.
I can use this.
This is, you can what?
I can use this.
Yeah, definitely. This particular one is a 100-year history of automobiles in this country. And it starts out 1908 Ford Model T, goes through all the, all of the twists and turns along the way. So it's clearly, it's clearly a visual, a lot of information on that. And yet it's one that draws us in. It's one that I want to go in and check and see what happened at certain times or when things came in.
And the interesting thing about this one in particular is that it's called the metaphor infographic. So it tells us immediately, it reminds us of a board game. So a lot of the insights that go with a metaphor are already transferred to your infographic. Another kind of metaphor would be when you use a temple kind of graphic and you're showing what your pillars are. So that is immediately conveyed in the graphic. So metaphor infographics are very cool tools. You can do a lot of information.
So it doesn't have, I was thinking data in terms of results of surveys and stuff, but this is a much broader.
Yeah. And there's a huge, we typically think of statistical information, and yet this is, it's a variation of a timeline for it.
But it definitely gives you a better, I wouldn't want to look through that in text.
No, absolutely not.
Yes.
And it wouldn't be of any interest at all for most of us. So the metaphor format for an infographic is scaffolding. It gives us something to hook the information onto. This looks like a board game. I know I need to progress from the start through the different tidbits of information.
Yeah, and there's obstacles along the way. So all of that is embedded already in your graphic.
Yeah, so it's an excellent
You
format.
know what I can see with this one from teaching and all that sort of thing online is I'm just really perplexed about how the publishers thrown their own online course. It's not fitting into Blackboard. But you could how to get started in the course. You start. This is what you do. And even if you have a little info video, it would pop out of that little
Absolutely, that would be
and they
easy
go on,
to
say
do.
you take this, week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yes.
And you're finished. Go to the beach. If they saw that, I think they'd be real interested in hanging out with the course.
I think you're absolutely right. Yeah, excellent point. Excellent point.
But you need to integrate a little.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm another Glockster is what comes to my mind as a way of integrating links to websites, integrating videos, and having it all in one spot. So
It's fun to present the course like that.
Like a game.
Yes.
Yes, yeah.
Absolutely.
Here's your ticket to walking through the game. Do not pass code.
Free credits.
Yeah.
And there's no reason we can't do that. We're working on a staff development one that it's gonna be set up like a video game. You're on level this now, and you level up to master blah, 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 you know?
Yeah.
You can be creative as you want.
This is another one, and we've all heard, there's several books out, we've heard the various statistics, but this is one that gives us in a very, very clear visual way. If the world were a village of 100 people, nationalities,
And there will be some surprising facts in here.
yep,
Well, it depends on what your source is, you know? You have to state your source.
yes, and I'll talk about that later on, because I do an infographic as an assignment for my students, and I do have them cite their resources. So, no surprises there. Yeah, we did something. Yeah.
Scary.
Scary.
Yeah, definitely.
Water will smoke. Out of water will smoke.
More than that are bees. I think.
Well, very
But what you have to do is
The
go to the
world, yeah.
Midwest and
The
have
entire
that roll
world.
it.
Yeah, it
And
would
it's
be
just
different with the
give
US.
back to- and it's interesting because you're getting emotional responses to
Absolutely.
data.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is
That's the whole
really,
point.
that's an amazing, and
Yeah.
that was one of the things we talked about last week, was reaching the affective part of when you do a presentation, if they don't come away with connecting something emotionally, then they haven't gotten much out of it. So yeah, that's an excellent.
Wait. So, how many people do you think will have degrees, will hold degrees?
Basic college degree.
Yeah.
Not an advanced degree, a basic college degree out of this village of 100 people.
20.
All right,
Okay.
good number. What else?
It's on your
In the world.
scope.
In the world.
In the
Oh
world.
my gosh, in the world, maybe less.
Yes.
8.
Okay.
I'm thinking of all those countries.
Yeah. Got a guess, Martha?
Just college degree? Out of the whole world.
And Bill Gates doesn't have one. He's from the School of Hard Knocks.
OJT.
On the John Crane.
On John Crane. Got a number?
You can't get it wrong. It's just
What's 1/7 of 100?
7.
Yeah.
It's like an auction
It'll be
going down.
710.
No, that 70 would be 7 times.
So remember we said at the beginning that this
Oh,
is a
1/7,
great way to
1/7.
show comparisons? One.
This is in the world, right?
In the
In the
world.
world.
1%.
1%.
Can really ascertain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And 18 illiterate. That's another scary. And so the message there is education is a gift. Use it wisely.
So creating that affective connection, Miss Judy, what is your favorite color?
Oh, she said.
That's why she wore that.
No, it isn't. I didn't. This is my favorite color. I guess it has to be that pretty bright blue. That's a little.
Okay. So color is important
Sure it
because
is.
there's a lot of emotion, and people who create infographics know that. And we're going to very quickly show you.
Yeah. It's just a representation of some information, color emotion guide. So the people who want to sell us merchandise are very consciously aware of what they do.
Right, well, there's a national, actually it's international organization called the Color Marketing Group, where you sit down at the table with people who decide the colors for automobiles, carpeting, etc., fashion, etc. It's out of Washington. And it's fascinating what you can learn from these
I'll
people.
bet it is.
Even interior people who specialized in the colors in prisons.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Your environment.
I read they use a lot of pink and purple because it is relaxing.
Well,
Soothing.
actually, New York Times came out with an article about 8 years ago, and that's in my textbooks, about what they call a cool pink, whatever that is. If you put that in an attention deficit disorder or a very volatile kid's room, especially boys, it's all they monitor. Paint the walls, everything. They'll actually calm down. You won't be hyperactive. Now, I don't know what happens with the girls because they didn't address that. But it's interesting how powerful that can be. It actually replaces some of the medication.
Well, and they like McDonald's is red and yellow, so you get out of there quickly. You know,
Yeah.
a
Yeah,
French
red
restaurant
in
will be
restaurants.
blue so that you hang around more.
Yeah.
than you
Well,
are.
all the fast foods are between yellow, orange, and red.
Yeah.
All of them. They
Fast.
won't do anything else. Now, McDonald's has gone towards that yellow, which is a really big step. But they've listened to color marketing groups.
Sure.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah,
That's
I want you to be, well, I don't know. What about negative colors? I mean, is there such a thing as a negative color?
Well, that's a good question, and I should have brought in that book I was talking about yesterday, because I've got the
Depends on the
book,
purpose.
Linnell
Yeah.
Vermark on visual literacy, and she addresses some of that. So I
For
have to bring it
example,
in.
there was a lot of this horrible green left over from World War II, and they put it in the hospitals. People weren't getting better. And so you have to put in the warm things, all the way from your warm violets, all the way down to
Yes.
pinkish reds and all that.
Yeah.
Even though it's subtle and very pale, then people
Yeah.
want to get out of there and they feel better.
Yeah, interesting.
And it's also cultural.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah,
yes, oh,
definitely.
yes, oh, yes.
Definitely.
No lilac mattress covers in Puerto Rico.
What color are they? Second one.
Anything but lilac, it's death.
Okay, so before we go to that one, this one is one that is just a real recent addition and has some really good information to share and to give some thought to, because this is where we are. Is it 18? Okay. Would you like? Yes, it is. Thank you. So this is an organization that focuses on online learning, the OLC, Online Learning Consortium, and with some of the data that they have put together for digital learning, and why we're here, why are we doing this? $263% increase in the last 12 years. 2/3 of those are at public institutions, even though the private ones and the for-profit ones are ones that hit the news. 2/3 of them are taking the courses. Mhm. These are, and then we get into some other, but 75% are over 25. We typically think of our student body here as 18 to 25, and in the face-to-face, but 75% are over 25, and non-traditional learners, a larger percentage of non-traditional learners. And I love this one. 90% feel that their online learning is at the very least equal to what they get in a traditional classroom, but for the most part better.
Really?
Yeah.
It's interesting. I mean, it must depend on the kind of online learning they're doing.
Of
how the
course.
Courses are set
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
You know, because
And this is from one of the organizations that promotes quality online learning.
pretty good stuff.
So then we get into some of the more disturbing statistics in this one. Of those who apply and those who are accepted. And this is traditional. And then who earns a degree actually goes through and completes. 77% of kids from wealthy families, 9% low income. What was it I love on your signature thing? The opposite of poverty is justice.
I just read a blog about small liberal arts colleges. And one of the professors said, even though they have these tremendous financial aid packages, they still primarily teach to the elite.
Of course,
Right, but low income kids can go, what she was saying is they pretty much go for free.
You see, they don't break that down into state institutions.
Right.
If you get into a private institution like Harvard, Yale, and Princeton, you don't have to pay a cent. Because you got in there, that means you're the brightest. So you have to be accepted, and you go for free.
completion rate for low
These days, anyway.
income students is 25%. The ones that smaller percentage that got in. And then the college debt, which has been in the news. First time in history, student loan debt is higher than credit card debt.
It's been abused.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I'm higher than average.
Anyway.
Actually, it was 35,000.
You were above average. You were above average.
Your infographic is having some powerful responses.
Isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. And this is a powerful one. And with these things we will make available to you. It links to all of these. Just some really, really cool.
We charge more for online courses.
Yeah.
Where do you see that?
It's up there. Affordability realized
So
online.
should we ask why is that? Does it just seem as a revenue source for the university?
It's a state too.
Probably varies.
But they save money on transportation.
Yeah.
And
Adaptive analytics. 84% feels tech helps instructors teach better. There you are.
Oh, I believe that.
And 4 out of 5 said, yeah, they're okay, but they could improve.
yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, okay, that would have been.
And then circle here.
Yeah, and that's, again, that's why we're here.
And it's nice to know it's not just you. You know, if you feel like,
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Yes.
We're
Yes.
right in there in those stats.
I can't find it. Isn't that always there?
Yeah.
yeah, remember when Obama was tweeting and I was like, wow, what is this guy doing? You know?
Yeah.
Back
Yeah.
when he got started.
The first time, yeah.
Yeah.
8 years.
Mhm.
So that's just some really, really great information. And this is available online, it's available as a PDF. and we will certainly share that.
Now, you mentioned an online quality consortium. What's the name of that?
OLC, this one is Online
it?
Learning Consortium, and then the other one that helps monitor for quality courses is called Quality Matters.
I'll paste the link into my slide here.
Oh, yeah, because that's available.
All right, for the next one, what we're gonna do is we're gonna show you something that you can actually relate to very well. How well do you think you know your students? So when we look at it, we want you to tell us 3 things you learned from that particular infographic and 3 ways that the designers use to convey the information. All right? So the learning life.
I don't know if we want to enlarge it so that we can scroll through and read it. Look at that, magic. I love it.
So we're going to give you a few minutes to kind of take a look at it. Tell us what 3 pieces of information you learned from it, and 3 techniques or ways in which the information was presented. Okay.
3 things, information that was an aha, oh wow, look at that, and how the developers of this one managed to get that information across to you.
Remember when we talked about the kind of data and other things we've been talking about?
I just asked them, what's your major and what your favorite piece of art and what you enjoy doing. That's part of their introductory kind of discussion. I don't know what all this stuff is necessary.
Are they trying to see how we could adapt to what they do? I mean, is that the idea?
It's really informational.
No, it's just sharing information about, it's like, who are we talking to?
Yeah.
What are their, what gets to them, what reaches them?
Yeah.
Not necessarily that we need to offer them pizza delivery or whatever, but just that this is just how, just some information about who these people are.
So for me, when I saw it, and we think about our students as technology-driven people, but look at the numbers, number 2, top hardware, pen and paper. I thought that was mind-blowing. They still carry their notebooks around.
Maybe because you don't allow them to use the technology in the classroom. I mean, otherwise, it would be maybe on their phones doing something else, but but we don't allow the technology. Is that why? And this is college students, right? We're not
Yes.
college.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but even when I was teaching face-to-face, there's no pen and paper.
What do they do?
Smartphones.
Most people.
Actually, I didn't at first. The only way I can allow them to use it is if everybody has one. And then I do. I speak from the back.
That's so true.
I'm in the back room.
So how about the way the information is presented? What can you say about that? What can you say about the way the information is presented?
Well, since this is talking about students, I like the fact that the graphic is a person.
Absolutely.
It's pizza going to the face, it looks like a student
Mm-hmm.
carrying books in one hand and iPhone in the other.
It's sort of all over the place too.
Yeah, yeah.
Not easy.
They study in their bedrooms. I was thinking maybe they'd study in a cafe, or someplace they could, drink coffee. I guess it depends on
Well, I
their
think
budget.
I think that's true. That's where they are.
But it says 42% in their
In their
bedrooms.
bedroom.
Yeah, 9% in a cafe, 21% in the library, 14% are in the kitchen.
Consider it a source.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. And what's it?
Well, and we do have that information.
Mm.
Study Blue, a learning mobile studying tool with more than 2 million users, asks students age 15 to 22 about their preferences in school, music, food, and more. Results show growing connection between students' lives and digital technology. So they do give you the source of the information, which a good infographic should, somewhere on there, or give you a link to where to get the information.
And how large is that sample? 2 million?
2 million.
Is that across the country here or elsewhere?
That I don't know. I haven't gone in to look at the site.
It does seem like everybody's at Starbucks studying when you're trying to have quiet, but really, it's not everybody. It's just a bunch of people. And that's why they put the Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah.
Growing
Yeah.
up, would you ever think there would be?
Yeah.
Love that.
But they found out that that's what students want.
Yeah.
In Japan, they had Starbucks in libraries
Well, they're advanced.
20 years ago.
Okay. She's shaking her head in amazement. All right, just an interesting, as with all of them, you look at it and you think, whoa, yeah, well, go figure.
But it's an interesting way to present that.
Yes.
It is,
Yes.
yeah, very.
Yeah.
And it's visual, it's graphic, and we all got something out of it.
Yeah.
So, this one, this is a mind-blowing one. This we could spend the rest of the time on. I'll just open this up and then let you find one or two items that jump out at you. Nope, back up. Okay, I need Phil.
Who's Josh James?
This is the third version of this, and they've got information on it, but here's the actual graphic. This is every minute of the day.
Global internet. So that's everybody across
The world.
The world.
The world, yeah. So anybody want to say something that kind of jumps out at you?
Facebook has how many? 4 million posts. They like 4 million posts
Every
minute.
minute.
every minute.
This is valuable to somebody who has a product they want to advertise.
Yes.
Yeah. But it's also key for people who deal with online whatever, teaching and whatever else.
How would we use it? Excellent question. How would we use it? And that's exactly our
Where we're going.
question for the interaction. How would you use it?
So if you want to go to your Google Slides and jot some ideas in there about how does what we have seen and talked about, how does it connect to you?
Just that last one, or
Any of it, the whole, no, not just the last one, just the whole idea, the infographic. Yay.
So how would you use an infographic in your teaching practice?
Where's the version where we can see the? And this Google Slides link is available to you, and Kathy has created a resource one so that you can go in and click to get back to some of the things that we've shared with you. I have a feeling she'll put some others in too.
Well, the resources, those are the ones that beforehand.
I love it. I could show some of the attire that's not appropriate.
That's what would be fun.
Yeah.
That would be. How would you do that? You put body up there?
I was just looking through some of the pictures that I have taken of students in class. I could show you one that was asked to leave her field experience assignment because she was not dressed for it.
It would be interesting. I mean, depending on where they're working.
Right. Yeah.
like Wall Street.
Or
So if
And
you look at this
when
as an
you
assignment
record
in
one,
your
you have to be
class,
real
do you teach them how to make one?
yeah.
Only in very general. I'll show you in a minute the one that I use on it. I give them links to where they can go to find them, but I also invite them to make sure that it's a very basic one, because some of the resources where you can go to create one are fairly complex. I mean, we've seen some that are like that and they look good, but I did not want my students to get too deep into creating it. I did not use the actual visual as part of the assessment. I used I have a whole rubric that I created for it, but the actual visual.
Because I've been playing around on some of these sites that say free, and then you have to pay to get in there, but I'm still not finding, you know, they say, use our templates. I'm still not finding something that
Yeah, and it takes, that's what we're looking at it too. We were gonna actually create one in here and decided that it was a little more involved than we wanted to do just for this particular format. So, but I've got a slide in here that I'll show you what I gave to them. It's a one slide PowerPoint thing, and then I asked them just to put their information on. Now it has to do with education, but there are several that you can do that with. So I'll show you. Okay. Can we? Lori's online. We let her share that.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
I hope you didn't hear what I just yelled.
No, nothing before the oh hi.
Thank goodness, I was having a little difficulty opening a document and that would have been bad.
Okay.
I was trying to pull up that graphic that I listed so I could show you, but all of a sudden my computer is frozen.
Oh, yeah, I had that issue earlier today too. We were just having the conversation about your business casual infographic. We're curious about that one.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to pull up, and I can't get my assignment to open right now. The whole computer's just frozen.
Okay, well, if you get it, but let us know. We would love to share it.
Okay.
So anything else you want to say about what you've got up there?
Well, now I'm frozen out of it, so I can't see what I've got up there, but I was thinking for the assignment, I give them a template for organization, but then also I had some really inappropriate attire in my presentations last semester, and it's way easier to tell them ahead of time than afterwards.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so I looked online. I didn't make the graphic I used this time. I got it, I think it was, I'm not sure if it was from Purdue or where exactly I got it from. But if I pull it up, I'll show it to you. But it showed a woman and a man, and they were split in half. And on one side of them, it described business professional, and on one side, it was business casual. And honestly, in my presentations the past couple of weeks, their attire was much, much better.
Excellent.
Yeah, and it worked pretty well. And then what was the other one? Oh yeah, the other one is just that I give them, before they do their presentations, and it sounds, Judy, like what you were probably doing, I give them data sets, just isolated, that I pull out of different reports, and then they have to create some kind of an information graphic to demonstrate those data sets. And they do a pretty good job, but it's not quite like the information graphics that you've been doing today.
No.
Yours are more like standalone that could really teach you that information, and theirs are more like visuals for slides that need to present along with them.
Yeah, and for a basic starting point, that's perfect. That's all you need. Just for them to find a way of putting that research data, because the one that I did, the students, this was their introduction into doing research in the field, and that's not always an easy step to take. So then I had them take some of that information that they found and just create a visual for it. It turned out, for the most part, okay. Yeah, great, thank you. Thanks.
Susan, I just wanted you to see the Photoshopped. 10 years, 10
I
pounds.
was wondering who that was.
That's right, that's right.
We all do. Well, you can, if you like that, you can do that.
That's good.
Okay, so you want to share something about it?
I was thinking about the restorative justice courses that I teach. A lot of the students are really most of them live in Canada and are really concerned about the disproportionate representation of Indigenous people in prisons for juvenile justice versus whites. So they could have, had I known about this stuff in their projects, some of them just talked numbers in their papers. Others, a few of them had tables.
Yeah.
But this is the kind of thing where you can really do it interesting.
And we have a slide coming up. You said you're looking for how-tos. We have a slide coming up that has links to some of the things that you can, and one of them is a link to 19 different ways and different sites that you can go to. So plus Kathy Schrock's is on that. So somewhere along the way, you'll find something that is a fairly good middle ground, but fairly easy one.
Yeah, I'm on a chart now, and then there's Menage or something like that, and I guess you kind of have to play around with 3 or 4 of them to find
Yeah.
ones that have the templates you want.
Kathy, I'm going to come back to yours.
Well, we used to do a timeline anyway for mental health care in the United States. It begins where people went to prison, and then through all the policy and legislation, we're back to people who don't have money or insurance go to prison with mental illness because their behavior is there. Yeah. Well, a lot. Yeah.
When they close the institutions,
Oh,
they all
yeah.
went to prison.
And all the money that's been drained from all of them.
Yeah.
And then people they don't get their medication, nobody's paying attention to them.
And when I saw a chart the other day that showed when there were institutions and then Reagan, and that went like that, like no institutions, and the number of mentally ill in prison went just as high.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, you know,
population.
prisons are private.
Not all of them, but there was just no other
A lot
place to
of
put
them.
them. And mentally ill people tend to.
Yeah.
It happened
People
when,
who
yeah,
well,
no, I
stories
mean, I worked
like
in
that.
that it's kind of an institution where people would come into prison when they had a day crack.
Okay, so Susan.
Well, I chose the game layout.
Yeah.
I like that very much. It's very artistic. I mean, you can make it into that.
Absolutely.
Especially if you became knowledgeable in high tech and able to do a video, pop out and tell you, I'm going to learn next time.
Yep.
Yes.
And especially when the signing in is complex, didn't used to be, but it is because of this publisher, making it difficult, working with Blackboard. So I'd like to show the steps. It's hyper complex for me. I know it's going to be for them. And then continue to show what is due and when in the course, all the way out till I can scoot out to the beach.
That's it.
And I really appreciate
a
it.
syllabus and a
I
course
really
schedule.
appreciate
Yeah,
what
yes,
you've done here.
yes.
It's been an eye opener.
Yeah, one of the articles I read a while back was creating an interactive syllabus, that type of thing. I have to see if I can track it there. And so
I think they'd pay more attention to the syllabus and deadlines if it was on something like that.
of course.
There, a certain percentage of people, yes, I think. Yeah, and there's 5 different things that are due.
So this is one Kathy created for a presentation she did.
You know, Mike and I did, we were at Teaching with Technology, we showed the basics of Google Drive. And so this we showed how Google Docs is really the same as Word and it's the same color. And Excel and Sheets are the same and Slides and PowerPoint are the same. And then when you take the symbol of Google Drive, it's built on those 3 basic things. And then we made Google Drive as a file cabinet. It's just a big file cabinet in the cloud. And then we clicked on, we had hyperlinks on each of those things that clicked out. The blue one, you click on it and it goes to a document. Actually, the links are still in there because I copied
And so that's the metaphor infographic of this.
Hey, Mike,
know,
Mike, can you click on this on the doc, please?
know this. Very nice.
No, the one in the file cabinet.
I never noticed that.
Yeah.
Now, when they save their documents that they do on the Google stuff, is it a DOCX?
What's
Or what is
the
it?
file extension?
What's the file extension on that? I've been getting on with
It goes, the document needs to be, well, it can be anywhere you want. It's a link, you can link to anything you
I
want.
mean, they can say that it's anything that's already on Microsoft Office.
No, Google Drive.
But if you save it
What's
as
the
a Google,
suffix?
Depends on what you're doing.
if you save it as a Google Doc, you will lose the formatting of your Word document.
Yeah.
You have a Word document and you have it import into Google as a Google Doc so that you like share it, we're gonna lose all of our formatting that was in, a lot of it that was in
Well,
Word.
it shifts,
not
you
all
don't
of
lose
it.
all of it, but the
Yeah.
formatting does change.
This is a document that's in Google Drive, and I don't want to be on Google Drive right now, but I'm just showing you the graphic and how it's.
Okay, great. So we're gonna shift right along. If you go back to the Google Slides, you will see that Kathy has put one up for us with some of the links that we've talked about. All right. Well,
And the,
I'm just gonna skip right through that, but that's,
The
those
where's
are
the
some of the
picture?
links.
Pictures worth 1,000 words now.
Yeah. So, how does it connect to us? And we've already talked about a lot of them. It gives us simply a different way of presenting some information that is often complex and we tend to gloss over. It's hard to understand. It could be done as a group project when you break your online course into smaller groups for different things. Could also be done as part of a research assignment. That's how I did it in the class that I did, where they had done research on a particular area that they had selected for education, and they did a presentation, and then they took some of that information they had found in their research and created an infographic for it. But it's a way of addressing creativity and allowing us to look at things in a different way, an easier way to communicate some difficult information, and definitely leads to our creative thinking. Critical thinking. So that's the connection to us as instructors working with students. And it's a way for us to share information that might not be so easy for them to understand, to share with them, and a way to create an assignment for them.
And this may look familiar. So what are these?
That's what I tell them to do.
Graphic organizer.
It's what we tell them to do. Yes, actually these are levels of critical thinking from Bloom's taxonomy. So we start with reading and analyzing. We move up a level and we evaluate the information. And then if we go up a level, we create our own infographic. So we synthesize it and we create our own compilation of the information. So the visual aspect of it contains the graphics, the icons, the colors that we're using. Then we have our content, our words, our texts, our data, numbers, statistics. But as with Bloom's taxonomy, real insight comes when we make conclusions. That's where we attain knowledge, and that's where we want to go. An infographic can actually be very striking visually, but if those relationships are not there, if the information is not well organized, it will be very hard for our students to actually make sense of it. And by going through the process, they will definitely know the information they're dealing with. So it's a very creative, engaging way of having your students deal with the information and actually get to know it.
Yeah, creating one is like the equivalent of teaching. When you've got the information, it sticks with you when you're able to teach it to someone else. And so creating the
Actually, this would be a good thing to present to students about how to succeed. And even put in maybe, the other sentence of exactly what those things mean.
Yes.
Some of them aren't going to know
absolutely.
what synthesize means. You start out with an actual sentence and then how you would evaluate it.
Absolutely.
Or click on it
This is
and audio
excellent.
explanation comes up.
Yes.
Okay, so here are, I promised you some sites for creating. I'm not gonna
I'll
jump
take
into
them in.
Okay, pick to chart or visually are two individual ones, but these are two others that I found that give you links to different things. And they even include Wordle and Tuxedo in them, which I would not have thought of as an infographic, and yet it's a visual representation. It's just the words put into a visual representation. So let me just quickly look at Kathy Schrock's, and I will scroll down to show you all of the, I mean, she's got some basic information. She's got a presentation up there, but then list and list, a whole bunch of them over there for creating, and then down on this side, overview of what they are, samples, lots and lots of samples of them, but the ones over there are where she gives us the, okay,
Now, what's the link to this?
the links to different places to
What's
go.
the link to the link?
I'll put it in the thing.
It'll be in your Google slide. And then 19 sites for creating educational infographics. And this is from Teachers Tech Workshop. That's one that I found, that I had looked at. I found from a different source where you have an idea to share the traditional document versus the alternative of the visual with the document. So this goes through eye charts, visually is listed in here, info, easily. The chart is listed in here. So that's, oh, okay. Anyway, it lists 19 different types, one of which is, they use Wordle is one, and Tuxedo, which is another variation of the Wordle type of thing. So this is links on there for you. And then that's the links to Pictochart and visually.
And so you're saying we can download this thing from Google?
You have access to that.
Oh, add to my drive, right?
You have access to that. This is the basic thing that I offer, that I give my students as a possible. They don't have to create it this way, but as a possible place to put their information, because I'm asking them. They've done research on something in the field of education. So this just gives them a background, someplace to put the information if they want to do that. And that is something that I got from the Kathy Schrock site. A few years ago, apparently she had some sort of a thing where people could create one and submit them, and she offered that. And I have that both as a PowerPoint slide and as a Word document that can be used. So that's just one example of a way that I tried to do it so that it would stay simple for them, so that they didn't have to go into all of the, all the tools and pick and do this and pull that out. So we have, in this amount of time, we've looked at various ways of representing visual information. I hope it's been an informative and giving you some slightly different ways of looking at them. We've looked at different ways of using visual representations of information.
So thank you for being here today. And next week, we will have Mike show us, tell us about different video options for your courses. And on the 20th, we have the blend.
17, I put it up over here. That's not really a year later. It's actually this year.
This year.
It's a year from now.
Yeah.
A year from now.
Pre-planning.
Who knows how things are going to be by then?
Put it on
But-
your schedule.
There you go, yeah. We're going to see you all here. We expect you. But the next one after that, it's group. No, I'd have to look at my listing to see. But the next one is, the next one after that is looking at the options that we have available to us of ways of presenting our courses. We've talked about face-to-face, we've talked about fully online, and we're now going to be looking at an overview of the whole blended, flipped, hybrid type of thing. And that's some information that we're working on here in the center. Preview of coming attractions.
Thank you.